It's not easy living on a dying planet, but it is easy to feel overwhelmed when it comes to making changes and taking action to try and save it. Where do you start? Is it even worth it? Can you really make a difference? Welcome to the Tea on Sustainable Living podcast, where we attempt to answer these questions by spilling the tea on living sustainably in a world that's going to shit. I'm Brandy.
And I'm Hannah. And for years we've been navigating the big, messy grey area of caring about our planet. It hasn't always been smooth sailing, but we're not giving up yet. So, brew yourself a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's try and navigate that grey area together. Hello, Give-A-Shitters. This is Hannah.
And this is Brandy. And you're listening to episode number 20 of the Tea on Sustainable Living podcast.
Woo!
Woo! I never know how to immediately go from that to we need to work on our...
I just have an awkward woo every week.
Maybe we could find some kind of sound bite, sound clip that we can put right after that just to separate before we go, so what are we talking about today? I don't know. Anyway. I feel like we're in somewhat of a silly mood today. We just recorded our Amazon episode and this one, the last two of the year.
Yeah. So this is you're joining us basically for another recap.
Yeah, a year. This is our version of Spotify Wrapped, which I find mostly annoying.
How is your Spotify Wrapped?
Well, I don't really listen to Spotify.
Oh, interesting.
I will occasionally to if there's a new album out from someone. And I'm on my computer, it's easier to go on that. And I also just check podcast episodes to make sure ours and my clients to make sure that they've gone out properly and everything's linked and everything looks right.
What is going on outside your house? Is that a fight?
Oh, it's a plane.
It's a plane. That was loud.
I didn't even recognize it until you pointed it out. I was like, oh yeah, there is something very noisy. So yeah. I find it mostly annoying. I like seeing, the only thing I like seeing is what percentage, true fan percentage of Taylor Swift listeners are out there. That I find entertaining. Top 1% or top this or whatever. Yeah. I think ours, we can just dive right into that. So yeah, this episode I thought we would just go through our stats. I feel like our last kind of wrap up, we called it kind of season 1 finale, even though we don't list as seasons, but we went back and just talked about how we felt about the podcast and how we made changes and what do we want to do with it moving forward. So we'll share some stats in this one too, but then I thought it'd be fun to just go through the episodes we've released this year. And just
let's hope we can remember them.
Well, luckily I've typed them out in our outline, so I'm just going to go through and I just kind of quickly what first comes to mind, this topic. Have there been changes with that topic? Have we made changes? That kind of thing. But we'll see what happens. So to start, we can go through our Spotify Wrap because when you log in as a podcaster, a creator, there's this interactive, your 2022 Wrapped is ready. And it says we have created 421 minutes of new content, more than 80% of other creators in our category.
That's good.
Which what category are we on Spotify? I don't know. Is it personal journal or society and culture? I can't remember. So I think let's explore our Wrapped.
Yes.
No, not also share this on Instagram because, I mostly find it annoying. Unless there's something interesting. Of course, now it's not really loading. I didn't have it ready. Oh, here we go.
Okay. Hit me with our Wrapped, Brandy.
Oh, it's very bright. I think that's what I find most annoying is that it's so bright, the colors and...
Brandy's face right now is very horrified. She's oh.
That's just so unnecessary. And I know digital footprints they're not the biggest impact you can make as far as if you're trying to reduce your impact. They do have an impact, but that just seems unnecessary. Anyway, let's jump in. That's what the button says. It says jump in. All right. In 2022, you did your thing. The people loved it. That feels like a message that everyone gets. I don't think that's unique to us. Oh gosh, it takes forever. This is so unnecessary. All these graphics going across the screen. Here's the 421 minutes of content, more than 80% of other creators in the society and culture category.
Okay.
Oh, and the print gets bigger and comes at you. There should be a disclaimer if you have epilepsy or something, because I feel like this could induce that. You can't hear us, but we're clapping right now. I don't believe you. Can you guess your number one? One episode really grabbed listeners' attention. Okay, I know this because I have the stats from our host, Libsyn. So in order that they are written, number 3 is Plastic Really That Bad?
Okay.
Number 11, Moving House and Living with Roommates. And number 4, 'Tis the Season. Can you guess our number 1, Hannah? Plastic, Moving, Season.
Out of those 3?
Yeah.
It's
like that's what I said about it being interactive.
Plastic?
Oh, yes, got it. Sorry, I'm like really annoyed at this website. It took forever to like get there. Yes, is Plastic Really That Bad? 75% more streams than your average episode.
Oh.
I think a lot of these numbers might be skewed because we don't have a ton of listeners, and I'll go through our total downloads. So it might have been like 4 people instead of 1. No, would that be 7? Whatever, 7. Like, these are small numbers, people.
Aiming high.
Or maybe it's more than that, but your podcast loves to travel. It has a globe that's spinning, and those words are spinning around the globe. I really wish it would just get to the point. This is infuriating. I regret this decision.
Oh, I'm loving it. No, Carrie, I really love this.
At me being frustrated.
But both things. I'm sure I would very much enjoy this visual.
See, okay, we're gonna hear some noise. Sorry, listener. Let's see if I have 2 computers.
All right.
See it?
Oh, that's
Sorry, my
cute.
mic is in the way.
It is quite like stressful colors though.
Like what? It's so unnecessary.
Oh no, I like it.
You were okay. It was heard in 9 countries. Your top 5 were United States, United Kingdom, Spain, Czech Republic, and Ireland.
Oh. Can we think of the friends who are in each of those places who were likely to have listened to them?
All but Czech Republic.
I think I know the Czech Republic. Okay. Someone who I used to go to uni with.
Something magical happened between January 16 and January 22. You had 200 more listeners compared to your average week. I think we had 200
more? 200% more.
Interesting.
Between when?
January 16th and January 22nd, earlier this year. What are the Tea on Sustainable Living listeners like exactly?
What are they like?
Also, like actually giving me a headache. This is so irritating. Calculating listeners' personalities. Oh, this is what I found the most annoying part. People sharing on Instagram. Like, I don't care. The specialist. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Your listeners are selective with the podcast they listen to, but they've got lots of love to go around. Once they decide they like a podcast, they're all in.
Okay.
Okay, I like that. That's good info to know, but I don't need to share it with everyone.
Yeah.
You and your fans have something special.
Yes, we do. We're all very special. Oh, this is a lot of colors, to be fair.
There's too many colors. You're a top 10 podcast for 8 fans. You're a top 5 podcast for 7 fans, and you're the number 1 podcast for 3 fans. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, it sounds like we have slightly more than 4 listeners.
Yeah, okay.
Unless they're the same 7 people, which they could be.
And then a final farewell message from Spotify. Thank you for sharing your podcast with the world. Maybe not final. There's one more slide left.
You're like, God damn it. When will this end?
Speaking of sharing, we made something special for you. Is it?
Oh, do we get a little infographic?
I'm not going to share it.
No? You're not going to share it?
13 episodes, 421 minutes, 9 countries. So I took a screenshot. Maybe I'll put that in the show notes of the graphic, but I'm not putting it.
You should also have a screenshot of your face looking really annoyed to go with it.
Okay, I can do that.
His reaction.
Anyways, let's just do a quick run through of our stats.
All right.
Where are we at?
That's exciting.
We're already 10 minutes in. Okay. That took longer than I thought. So our stats, we had 731 downloads this year, 932 all time. So we are very close to 1,000.
Which is what we wanted when we were talking before the summer, right?
Yeah.
Like we want to hit 1,000.
From the 3 they gave us, you picked our top episode, but we have 3 more that, according to our host, have been downloaded more.
Okay.
Any guesses?
I
out of our episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one about flying?
Nope.
No? All right.
Not even in the top.
Not even
7.
anywhere. Let's see. This is just from this year.
This actually I think this is all-time top downloaded because I couldn't sort it out through.
So maybe one of our beginning ones, like the welcome to the podcast.
2 of our beginning ones. So actually our top downloaded episode is number 14, A Season of Sustainability. That's TEA.
Interesting.
151 all-time downloads. So that one is like an outlier because then after that it's number 1, How We Started Giving a Shit, at 66. Number 2, Why is Primark So Irresistible, at 62. Is Plastic Really That Bad, which is episode number 3, 51 downloads. And then Spending Money on Things We Don't Need, number 16 at 48 downloads. Number 8, Life Isn't Fair, But Your Purchases Can Be, 44 downloads. And then that was tied with number 13, The Intersectionality of Climate Change and How to Take Action. So it's pretty common for the first few to like remain at the top of your top all-time downloaded episodes because it's at the beginning, lots of excitement, people are listening to new podcasts, and then it's not gonna be everyone's top podcast. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's quite common. But I thought it was interesting that the number 14, A Season of Sustainability, is our
that is
clear
quite
winner.
Random because it's not really.
It's not like a topic centric.
Right. It's just about the podcast.
Yeah. So we'll see how this episode does.
Maybe
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to compare. Anyway, so I thought that was that was fun. We could use some new ratings and reviews though. So I'll just take this moment that if you are one of our top listeners,
one of the 3 top listeners,
or even the
7,
10, whatever. Take a moment. If you're listening on Spotify, you can't leave a review, but you can just quickly hit the 5-star button. If it's on Apple, you can leave a rating and a review. And there are a couple others. I think they're linked in the bottom of our show notes to leave a rating and or review. And it's like
please leave us a little Christmas gift.
Yeah, it means a lot.
If you enjoy listening to us.
Yeah, to let us know that you're getting value from it. And then it's like when you read reviews from before you buy a product, it's nice to see that other people are getting value from it before they decide to listen. So that is why we would really appreciate it. What else don't? Any changes in the new year? Yeah, we got to figure out the guest thing. We've had ideas, but we just haven't followed through with it.
Yeah, no, I think we need to sort that out because I think that would be a good thing. I think we've had a slightly new format, which we talked about a bit before. Mm-hmm. That on the sustainability one. Oh, not really new format, but we decided to get rid of the
tea time.
I don't think it ever really worked. So I think that works better. I also prefer our intro and outro now. They definitely
me too.
Sound a lot less like this was the first thing we ever recorded, which
and I feel like we're a bit more clear of an idea of what we want from it.
Right.
Which guest would like to be one of them. Which reminds me, we have finally had our first voice message sent in. And it was not Kelly. I thought it would be. So Kelly, up your game. Send us a voice message. And also, if you're not Kelly, you can do that too at the tonsustainableliving.com/contact. So I'll take a moment to update Hannah on this voice message and just play it for you so you can hear it and then we can chat about it.
Hi, Brandy and Hannah. Alison here. I am coming to you in response to your recent episode on buying things. And I wonder how you think about the love languages in regards to buying stuff. So one of the love languages I know is gift giving. So how would you make someone feel loved with a more sustainable and minimalist approach? Thanks for all the work you do.
Wow, that's interesting. And she has such a cute accent. It's adorable.
Yeah. Alison's great.
Thank you
so much
for messaging us.
Yes, thank you very much, Alison. The episode she's referring to is number 16, Spending Money on Things We Don't Need. I wanted to start with that and then we can go back episode by episode. Do you have any initial thoughts on her question?
Yeah, I mean, it's a slightly hard one because my love language is definitely not gift giving or receiving gifts. But it's a really interesting question. I mean, in general, obviously, there are lots of times in the year where giving gifts is like a cultural and a, you know, obviously a cultural tradition, but also something that you want to do at Christmas and birthdays, and then just randomly. I mean, I think I'm not going to say anything weird, but new, but like gifts that you can be things that you make as well, if you have the time, and that can be very meaningful to someone. Or things, experiences as well, you can gift to someone. And I think as well with like the love language of gift giving, you know, it's somewhat, from what I understand about it, actually no, I was going to say it's also like little things throughout the week or throughout, you know, and I'm not sure if I'm confusing right now. I'm going to confuse this with the acts of service, but I feel like, you know, just like picking up like a cupcake on your way to like visit someone, or you could make someone a coffee in a thermos and like bring it to them, things like that. But I'm not sure, maybe that's acts of service more than gifts. What about you, Brandy?
Well, I think I would see that more as a gift. An act of service I would see as like doing the dishes or like doing something. Yeah, I think if you're giving someone anything, I would put that in the gift category. Yeah, I don't think there's a problem if that is your love language. I think, yeah, like you gave examples of like maybe ways to give better gifts, but I think it comes down to like, okay, so we're talking about other people's love language is. So there are two ways to look at this. So, all right, you're looking at your friends and family members, their love language is gift giving. So they give you gifts and then they like to receive gifts. Yeah. So as far as them giving you gifts, if you have issues with that, that's not your love language, you don't want the things. I mean, that kind of goes back to our chat last year. We talked about like, 'tis the season. Not trying to like change the person, appreciate that like they were thinking about you. But if it truly is an issue, having a conversation with them, maybe not right before like a birthday or Christmas, and like, God, I really like to, I don't know, direct them to consumables or experiences if it's like you have an issue with the stuff. But I think just recognizing the love language for what it is, they are just expressing their love for you, right, and appreciation for you,
which is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. So I think focusing on that will help kind of shape the action you take. And then as far as giving them gifts, I think it's fine. The whole point of a gift is like, yeah, like we just said, to express your love, appreciation for someone. So that's fine. I don't think there's you should stop giving gifts to people. But yeah, maybe, change the gifts you're giving, or ask the person, this is what types of gifts do you want to receive? Right. Do you like consumables? Do you like, or is there anything you need? I don't think it needs to be the super secretive thing. Like, you can have conversations about these things to figure out what your answer is, what a better way forward is.
Right.
If you're feeling a current issue, if you're feeling like you have a problem with something at the moment as far as gifts.
And it's true. I feel like we do sometimes like fall into this like trap of thinking, especially and maybe more with partners, but also with friends, of being like, you should just know what the other person wants. And it's more romantic or it's more loving if you can somehow just mythically guess no, you know, and that's not actually necessarily true. Like,
right.
So like letting go of that thing, being like, you can do something that's just as kind, as loving, as romantic, like whatever the relationship is, while also communicating with that person. And that doesn't mean that you don't know them or that you don't care about them because you haven't.
You didn't see the like last 3 ads on their Instagram scroll that they now decided, oh, I want that thing. How would they know if you didn't say, oh, like I want this thing now? If it is a physical thing. I agree. I think it's just start with like shifting your perspective of like, what is the point of gift giving for someone whose love language is that? And then, just having conversations is my short and sweet answer.
Thank you for the question, Alison.
Yes, thank you very much. We referenced her in a previous episode of the like climate workshops. I forget which one, but I'll link it again. I did this En-ROADS workshop of like, you like basically like move all of these, like it's like a hypothetical situation. You move these like what's the word? You move these not buttons, like these sliders around for like different ways to like decrease our temperature increase to keep it under 1.5 degrees Celsius. So we can do like taxes on energy or etc. There are all these different ways, and you mess around with those sliders to try to get it under 1.5. So that was a fun like interactive workshop to see. Like we ended up with a little bit of everything, which is really cool. So I'll link if there's one coming up. I'll link that. So yeah, and speaking of that episode, spending money on things we don't need, I have deleted the Vinted app off of my phone.
Yeah, it's done.
Just to create a bit more friction, which we just mentioned in our last episode on Amazon. I can access it online if I need to. It's not as easy to use, which is the point. I can still see, I get an email when something is ready for me to pick up. And yeah, that's my update.
Yeah.
I was a bit recent to have any other bigger changes or updates, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that I have any big updates either.
We'll just work backwards from there because I think the other ones, sleep and protests, are also recent to have major updates. So there have been, although you shared with me more, there have been more like protests, especially around paintings.
Yeah. The sleep one was actually interesting. I was like reading, not just with climate change, but I was seeing like a very guilty pleasure, which I normally don't watch because I don't like diet culture, but I give in sometimes. And it's about secret eaters. Anyway, don't watch Secret Eaters. It's a good show, but it's not a good show. But they had an experiment on there where it was about what choices people make when they're sleep deprived. So they basically woke one group of people up to eat like several times during the night, and then they had activities all the morning, and then they were able, everyone had like the same amount of money to buy food. And that people who were sleep deprived chose much higher foods with much higher fat content and just like higher calorific value in general. And sugar. So yeah, anyway, another impact of sleep deprivation on just choices in general, I guess.
Yeah. Get your 8 hours, 7 hours. I don't know, however many hours you need. And working backwards from there. Episode number 15 was spilling the tea on Nespresso in Patagonia.
You have an update?
Yeah, I went back and forth on whether to do like a follow-up episode, but I think in that episode I talked about wanting more like info, like easily found information on like the claims that had been made against Nespresso prior to being certified as B Corp, the claims against child labor, and just other not great things. I went back and I was able to find their Nespresso's transparent disclosures 2022. So in that they do, like, that's a requirement to become a certified B Corp for like the whole part of the whole process. So in there they disclose, they have info about like, I don't know what the right word is, defending or explaining or addressing. Disclosing, that's the right word because that's what it is. Disclosing topics such as biodiversity impact, child labor in supply chain.
And they disclose that they do that, or that there's currently investigations?
That there are investigations and what they have done or are doing to address those. Another topic, Nespresso occasionally sources coffee from conflict zones. So, for example, in that one, it says Nespresso's policy, like there's a section, implemented management practices. So this one there, Nespresso's policy is to not start to operate in conflict-affected zones, but on occasion a conflict may arise in a zone that they are operating in. It goes on to talk more about that. Another topic was allegations of excessive hours for workers and poor working conditions. And environmental impact, aluminum and coffee waste and recycling.
Okay.
That was the last one. So yeah, we'll link that. So if you want to read more about their disclosures of those topics. But obviously it's Nespresso's website. So yeah, I had to I found this article. I had to dig on their Nestle-Nespresso.com to find an article addressing child labor allegations in Guatemala. So they do have looks like a long article about that, and links and videos and I'll link that as well if you want to read more about that. So because that first page on Nespresso's website of like, we are now a certified B Corp, like, look how great we are. There was not even one line about allegations that had been made or just, despite
any acknowledgement
of these major issues that the company has had. And like, we have worked to correct that. And now we are a certified B Corp. Like, there just wasn't any kind of, even like a gloss over mention of.
Right.
So I just wanted a bit more transparency. Like, I don't want to have to dig to find these things.
Yeah.
But they are there. I feel a bit better. I'm not going to go out and start buying Nespresso pods or this machine.
Does it restore some of your faith in B Corp? Because I know that was a big thing that kind of shook you, right?
Yeah, I think a little bit. Is it enough? Like, does that? I don't know. I think I'm still. I don't think I'd lost faith completely. I think when we finished that episode, I felt like, okay, so there's a certification. It is still a good place to start and still a bad place to stop.
Yeah.
Because I think I had a conversation with Alison about, oh man, like that's like my easy button to go to like B Corp website, their directory, and find a company for not just physical products, anything. So I feel a bit better, but I still feel a bit like cautious to just think, oh, there's a certification, all problems solved. There is no impact on this purchase whatsoever, because there is an impact on every purchase. Anyway, so I feel a bit better.
Yeah.
Have you had any changes, thoughts around certifications, Nespresso or Patagonia? And they went.
No, I think it was good I think it was a good conversation that we had. Yeah.
I think I'm just thinking now, because in our Amazon episode, I talked about how I might want to try to have a should billionaires exist type of episode. So I think we could come back and talk about Patagonia as well, because that is an element. I think we'll skip recapping our recap episode, if that's okay with
our
you,
most
listener.
Popular episode.
10-minute warning. Okay, so the one before that was the intersectionality of climate change. I honestly don't remember what exactly we talked about in that episode.
I'm looking at
had to
these
have just
episodes.
Been surface level stuff, because there's definitely more to talk about. I want to read now that I'm blanking on her name, has come out with a book, The Intersectionality of Climate Change. My mind's blanking on the author. We'll link it in the show notes. I want to read it and then make you read it, and then we can have a chat about it. A more like informed chat.
A book club.
Yeah. Oh, that one I think was a lot about individual versus systemic action, focusing energies, talked about NGOs, researching everything for ourselves, how to choose what to do.
I'm impressed we did so many episodes.
Yeah, me too.
So kind of long.
About reducing inequality as necessary.
Are you just reading our show notes?
I'm just reading the bullet points. Yeah, so I think we definitely have more to say on that topic, or we will have more to say on that in the future. The one before that, number 12, spilling the tea on wasting water.
I enjoyed that episode. I feel like I learned lots of like fun facts in my little dive down into water usage statistics.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
I still have not mastered washing dishes
in the bucket.
In a bucket in the sink, mostly because I haven't bought a bucket. So maybe I should start there. But I've gotten better at turning the water off when I'm like actually like hand washing, because I don't have a dishwasher. And what is the stat? Like it's better to use a dishwasher if you're hand washing more than like 8 or 10 dishes or something. There's some like tipping point. Obviously depends on your dishwasher and how you hand wash dishes. But anyway, it's like brushing your teeth, turning it off while you're actually doing the cleaning.
Moving house. That was also an interesting
roommates
episode.
Had you already moved into this apartment when we did that?
Yeah. I just moved in.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've had a bit of a revolving door of roommates.
It's not been too bad. Yeah, no, we've had, it's true. I've got one roommate who stayed, and then we've had 2 roommates, like one roommate, a sublet, and now I've got another roommate moving, a new roommate moving in next week.
Impacted like your systems at home, and as far as like, I don't know, recycling or I don't know. what other things come up when you live with people and can't just make all the rules for your own house?
I think it's been okay. I think we've all been pretty into the recycling. It's like, I guess that's like the base easy thing. Although I feel sometimes I think I've got a bit lazy with it. So I know I like put stuff in the plastic bin that I'm like, I don't think I can recycle this.
That's called wish cycling.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes too. It's like,
basically, you're like, oh, I never throw anything out, but it's because you put half the stuff in the recycling bin and it's never going to be recycled.
Yeah.
So
and I think if it's a small or like really thin plastic, it's better to just trash it because I think it can clog machines. And I actually don't know that much about the recycling systems in Spain, but I know there's I've seen a lot of like YouTubers and articles about recycling centers in the US.
Yeah.
Say those are some problems. Right. And then the two before that, you unfortunately were not.
No, but I enjoyed listening to them.
Yeah, my two interviews. One interview split into two parts with my best friend Kelly.
I particularly enjoyed the anesthesia. How do you say that?
Anesthesia.
Anesthesia. Thank you.
Yeah, the sustainability of anesthesia, and then part 2 was motherhood.
Yeah, I mean, both of them were very interesting episodes. Actually, thank you, Kelly, for coming on.
Yeah, I liked. I didn't know that what was the anesthetic she talked about?
It was a type of
desflurane or something. How it's like best for the patient because it has like a short it reacts quickly, but then it also like doesn't. It's easy to like you wake up quicker from it after you receive it or something about that, or like maybe like side effects is better for the patient, but it's very harmful to the environment once it's it's sucked up from the OR room and then the gases are released like above the hospital. So that was interesting to learn. And then she was funny in episode 10 part 2 about buying stuff secondhand like for our kids. She's like, they don't care, like they're gonna grow out of it true. Anyway. So I liked that one. And because we are within 5-minute limit, so let's quickly go through. Right, of these last 4, life isn't fair, but your purchases can be. We kind of touched on third-party certifications, which is what that one was about. Nespresso one.
Fair trade.
Flying, to fly or not to fly, number 7. Number 6, no use crying over broke milk. And number 5, new beginnings. So I don't know if much has changed for me with those 3.
No. I mean, yeah, life kind of carries on. It's like a hard thing.
I'm trying a new thing coming up soon as far as flying and trying to only do one big trip to the US. And all my people are like spread out quite far in the US. And I've been doing since like COVID has let up, I've been doing like multiple trips a year. So I think if I can, but none of them have been like, they're quite exhausting and the impact and the cost and all that. So I think if this works out well, I think this would be a better way and just do one big trip, one overseas trip. So we'll see how that goes. I still don't cry over broke milk. I still eat the gummy candy sometimes.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite thing from that episode. I think I quoted you in that for that one. Are you
been
gonna
a
make
good
any?
year.
Yeah. That's been a good year. Are you going to make any New Year's resolutions?
Oh, no.
Because for the first episode of the year, we talked about
I should
kind of defining
to
sustainability in terms of the environment, but also like setting goals. And I think my main takeaway from that is to just make small changes that you don't even realize are changes so that you don't feel like you're making an effort.
I think it would be good to do in January an episode that, you mentioned the like Venn diagram thing. Or some sort of quit where you can like...
Where it's there are 3 things you take: what you're good at, what the planet needs as far as climate action, and what you enjoy.
Yeah, I think that could be...
overlap between those 3 things.
An interesting one to do in the new year.
I think maybe, we should like brain dump our thoughts and then try to like sort through them together on the episode.
Yeah. All right.
Some time to think and reflect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel good about 2022. And we will stick around. 2023. I'd like to keep going. We got lots of ideas, lots of exciting episodes coming up, and let us know if you want to be a guest. Help keep us accountable for getting guests on.
Be a guest. Send us a voice note. Alison has given us a very good sample to follow.
Yeah.
So
just like that.
Leave a review, please.
Yep.
If you like us.
And think that's 2022 wrapped.
All right.
See you in the new year. Oh, tea you in the new year. Ah.
You're forgetting the catchphrase, Brandy.
I caught myself.
I'm not going to do it.
And cue the music.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Tea on Sustainable Living podcast.
Now, go share it with a friend,
A coworker,
a partner,
a family member,
or whoever.
a pet, your cat,
Someone on the street. Whoever you think could use a little more support on their sustainability journey. Share it.
You can send them over to our website, theteaonsustainableliving.com. And while you're there, check out the show notes for more info on today's topic.
All right, give a shitters. See you later. Get it? See you later, as in see you later? So funny.
Brandy.